Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we're going to be looking at some potential cards that Zuzu might get within Yu-Gi-Oh Arc 5 within Duel Links. Aria the Melodious Diva is a light attribute fairy type level 4 with 1600 attack and 1200 defense. Its effect is, while this special summon card is on the field, melodious monsters you control cannot be targeted by card effects or be destroyed by battle. This was one of the original cards that Zuzu had within her deck, and it came out of Duelist Advent. It's obvious this is going to be one of the first cards she'll have to have introduced within the game, as it was one of her more basic strategies. Sonata the Melodious Diva is a light attribute fairy type level 3 with 1200 attack and 1000 defense. And its effect is, if you control a melodious monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. While this special summon card is on the field, all fairy type monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Again, this was seen within Duelist Advent as one of her original cards. It's quite decent because it does provide all your fairy type monsters, which the melodious cards are, with additional 500 attack and defense. That means, including itself, it will come a 1700 attack monster, and since it special summons itself, it happens to increase your field presence. Masata the Melodious Maestro is a level 8 light attribute fairy type with 2600 attack and 2000 defense. And its effect is, once per turn you can special summon one light fairy type monster from your hand. You cannot special summon other monsters this turn you activate this effect, except for light attribute monsters. This again is a very decent effect. It helps to boost and spring forward your deck much more easily. It does have to be fairy types, but that's what the melodious monsters are. And really the limitations are only on light monsters, and considering you will be special summoning, if at all, light attributes, this isn't a restriction. It is the most powerful of the three, but it's also probably the most difficult to get out, considering it does require 2 tributes to summon. Canon the Melodious Diva is a light attribute fairy type level 4 with 1400 attack and 2000 defense. And its effect is, if you control a melodious monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Canon the Melodious Diva once per turn this way. Once per turn, you can target one melodious monster you control, change its battle position. So this is just really more of a special summon monster. It helps to just balance and improve your field presence. It also has the ability to change and adapt your melodious monsters in terms of their battle position. That's more ideal depending on if, for example, you want to have one of their effects activate, but it happens to be better in defense mode. It's a good way of having these 2 cards out, having that other monster in attack mode, and then being able to switch it, rather than not being able to use its effect alongside having to rely on it to be set and letting your opponent attack into that monster. Serenade the Melodious Diva is a light attribute level 4 fairy type with 400 attack and 1900 defense. And its effect is, this card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a fairy type monster. After this card is special summoned to your side of the field, you can normal summon one melodious monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. So the first part of the effect, so it can be used for 2 tributes for a fairy type monster. There are other monsters that do have this. Some are type specific, some are attribute specific. For example, with Unshaven Angler, that works as a 2 tribute for water attribute monsters. This just happens to, if it's able to be special summoned, allows you to normal summon again within the turn. That also helps to develop your field presence, and at least it means you're not wasting your resources. I would argue this card isn't really that relevant unless you can use it within the very first turn you summon it, because if you try and summon it in attack position, 400 attack, anything can basically get over this card. Defense mode, it's okay, and it can be waited on if your opponent doesn't have anything on board, but you're trying to bank on your opponent not having the resources they have in hand, which is never a good idea. Elegy the Melodious Diva is a light attribute fairy type level 5 with 2000 attack and 1200 defense. And its effect is, special summoned melodious monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card was special summoned, all fairy type monsters you currently control gain 300 attack. So the purpose of this card is, if it happens to be special summoned, as well as any of your other melodious monsters, they are protected from being destroyed by card effects. It's a very decent effect, and the more bulky you can make these monsters, the more difficult your opponent is going to find it when trying to get over these cards by battle. It also does give a 300 point attack boost, which isn't bad considering itself it becomes a 2300 attack monster, which is very powerful for a level 5. You don't have many options or versions of this type of effect. And if you merge it with some of the other monsters, for example Arya, you're able to develop a lot more of a protection, and your opponent is going to be more restricted into what they can do. And the final card introduced is Shapina, the Melodious Maestro. This is a level 7 light attribute fairy type with 2300 attack and 1700 defense. Its effect: once per turn you can target one light fairy type monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You cannot activate non-light monsters' effects during the turn you activate this effect. So the purpose of this card is if you've already exhausted a number of your resources, you're then able to research and recover some of your monsters from your graveyard that are essentially melodious monsters. I know you can splash light fairies, and since it's both a common attribute and typing, you can splash other things into it, but I would imagine you are going to focus on the melodious archetype. It's a decent effect because it just means that anything that isn't a light attribute cannot activate a monster effect during that turn. Perfectly fine, you're going to be running purely lights, or if you've got a few other attributes, they're going to be barely any, and it's not going to inconvenience you. So those were the different cards that I could consider within the first 2 packs that Zuzu could have as just starting off. In terms of the character effects and skills I think she'll have, I'm sure there'll be something where if she takes a certain amount of damage, 1500 or 2000, you're able to search for one of your melodious monsters. There might be one where you can actually fusion summon the specific one that actually, there's a couple of them you've got, or you might have things where they have individual character abilities which let you search for some of the pendulum monsters, or you've got things that might let you search for fusion spells. I know she was very big into her fusion cards ever since she faced off against a Gemini player from an opposing school, and there was that whole competition she had to face with her. That's alongside the storyline. Perhaps we might get something unique for her. I'm hoping we will, but whatever you think, if you think there's going to be anything else added, please put those in the comments down below. I am going to be making a video detailing all the other cards that I'm hoping are going to be revealed and released before anything else alongside the characters as just generic support. And I will be kind of almost trying to predict what they're going to put within the first booster set. I'm hoping to have that video up soon as well. Just as a quick spoiler, I am hoping on the Yang Zings to be introduced. They're a personal favourite attribute archetype of mine that are worm types. They're some of the first worm types. I think they are the first worm types to be actually introduced, because that came out of Duelist Advent, and it's definitely something I'm going to be discussing a lot of. Look forward to that video when it comes up. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh content.